Okay. Alright. Hello, Seekers. This is Black Probe Vice. I was just trying to figure out how much time I have. I have plenty of time to make this video. I have 16 minutes left at this point. So, today we're going to talk about how to manicure your cemetery. How do you cultivate it? How do you do the best you can do? Now, first of all, you need a kind of discreet one. Now, a lot of cemeteries, you can't find a lot of cemeteries these days are open, so you have to find ancient ones. And, I have access to a good cemetery. It's really old. I've been using it for a few years. I've only had a few encounters here with people during the interactions. I've had, and I'll get to autumn. I'll talk about the autumn updates in a little bit. But when it comes to cultivating your cemetery, first you need to pick out a good cemetery. Not all cemeteries are equally valid in the sense that you want to be doing kind of the stuff like I'm doing. Now, you need an altar area. Now, I've never seen it so green, but so I'm putting my bag on my shoulder. Okay. Someone put those rocks there. I mean, I brought the rocks here to dump as waste, and I put them at the base down there, and then someone moved them up here. And at one point, there were rocks here, and the rocks that were in the center were ones that I remember especially using and testing out a lot, as opposed to other kinds. Because I'm very familiar with rocks and testing them over time. Like, I could look at some of these and probably have fond memories of testing them out. Anyway, Oh. Someone erased, maybe the rain erased the graffiti, but it used to say autumn was strong here. Anyway, there's some stuff from autumn. That baggie's from me, it's a note for her. Anyway, we need an altar area. So let's begin to go down to other areas. Now, there's different kinds of energies you cultivate when you have a well-manicured cemetery and when you have a cemetery like this. They're just different energies, so I just want to throw that out there. So this is the initiation area. This area I was talking about in tweets, like someone has been randomly cutting down areas. Ooh, I wonder if it's the dwarf. I'll get more to the dwarf later, but you need a dwarf because dwarves help with form and shapes and spaces. They're very Saturnarian. But, they help with shape. They're a necessary component to good terraforming of anything. Because they help with kind of like the funky dimensional aspects of terraforming rather than other things. But you need a good initiation area. This area I'll show the other areas that kind of cleared up. But this is the one that convinced me that something was going on. Anyway, this area got all clipped. The reason why this is an initiation area is because it just says weak right there. Weak. And that has to do with Lagus, which is the rune of initiation. So this is what I'm going to use this area for. It's brand new. I haven't really tested out the area. I mean, I don't really have to do initiation. But, initiation, self-initiation is a never-ending process. You always can do better self-mastery. And I'm no master. I wouldn't even say I'm an expert. I'm more like at journeyman level or at adept level, truly. I'm powerful, but I'm not that powerful. An adept is a reasonable term. And only in some things. There's many things I do not know, even in terms of magic. But obviously, I know some things. You're watching me talk about how to terraform your cemetery. So, Here's another area. Like, I don't know who's randomly cutting this stuff. Because I don't think it's... At first, I thought it might have been, like, a lazy PG&E worker. Kind of, like, bullshitting his work. But, you know... At this point, this be, like, spooky ghost habitation circle stuff. So, it's very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cleared. It's there. So, it's very cool. Oh, just got a message. I'll have to deal with that later. Can't wait to do stuff like this in Transylvania. Ugh, that'll be crazy. Right? Isn't that pretty crazy? Just think about that I'll be doing this in Transylvania in a few years' time. I mean, for myself, but that's also probably really crazy for you, the viewer, who, you know, I'm sure some of you are fans, but I'm sure some of you are utterly aghast in horror what's really capable of going on. Okay, so I've talked about the portal before, but you need a good portal. This is the current portal. You know, you don't see anything, but you kind of feel it, and you do it for inner work. Let's talk about this. I'm sure you can kind of know the color, notice the color differentiation between that part of the flower and that part of the flower, other parts of the flower. It's very interesting. I've had that flower has been here, that fake flower has been here for a while, but it got moved to here at some point. But I don't ever remember being that colorful in that area when I first saw it up here. Alright. So, if you're a good necromancer, because if you're a good necromancer, this is not your first time, you're going to have, you know, some sort of level of, overseer. You're going to need an overseer at some level to deal with all of the dead. Because you're not the, you have, rat race and stuff to deal, like, that thing, that structure's been there forever. But, structures like that get appropriated easily, and it's always good to make stuff like that if you can. Ooh, what's this? So that's the original autumn rock. I'm looking at that. That's interesting. That was put there probably by Autumn. But the new Autumn one is right here. It says, Autumn love, we can... Congrats. Can gal. We can gal. I don't know. But it says Autumn love we something. I think autumn has to do with signaling esoterically, because autumn is associated with necromancy and witchcraft in general, but necromancy. So I think that habitation circle's just been there for a while. And at first I thought, that was the first one I noticed, and I was like, oh, PG&E's just throwing brush and it's being collected and used as habitation circle. But then this one appeared. Because this used to be kind of like, looking like that. But now this area's been all cleared around these two graves. And these little, I think it's called soap grass or soap plant. Anyway, I think I know what that plant is, and it's very medicinal. So, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this is going to be a very interesting habitation circle. Very fey, very Black Sealy, I'm getting a feeling. But not Banshee. Oh, is it? I feel like I'm being played tricked on. Okay, I can't deal with that right now. One of the things I've noticed about the cemetery is, I've been coming here for a few years, but it really is, there really has never been moss quite like this. It's really very green, and I know it's raining and yada yada yada, but it's never been quite like this in the cemetery. So, I visually appreciate it, and it adds more to the decay, because of what it is, and and if things like climate change be really real, and we have more CO2, then we need more plants, and we deal with surface space by growing more moss. So, there's that. So that's how I feel about that. Okay, I got a few more minutes, and I'm almost done. So, I've got something a little embarrassing to say. So, I can be, sometimes I'm a little imperfect. I keep forgetting to bring gloves and bags to take up some trash, particularly some bowls I have that I've been leaving out, but I'm like, I don't know what's interacting with them, like animal-wise, so I don't want to touch them directly, so I kind of have the two bowls there, but I have a little space right here for, putting crystal enchantments and stuff, and, empower the entities here for, their ability to perform. And there's power line right there, which is useful, because, I can use it as a highway, for the kami, the disembodied kami. You just need the right kind of enchantment to make, on-ramp, off-ramps. And yes, you use Binroot 42 to do that. So that's there. Okay, here's the dwarf. So, I don't know if he wants... Let me get my pendant out. I can't even vibe he's saying no. Can I show? Can I show your space? On camera? Okay, the dwarf says yes. Do you want anything more for it? Of course, but not now. Okay. Alright, that's what you want. You wanted more stuff. Okay, so... as I said earlier, you want the dwarf to deal with form. Now, this area used to really have poison oak, and it doesn't really anymore. Pathways right here, which you can kind of see these sticks. Kind of forming that way. Like, you kind of see the boundaries. Hey, stop messing with the light. That's actually really funny. Is it the angle? Okay, I think he's had enough. Alright. I need to keep this footage. I don't need to do it again. But I get it. You want something big. You want to subscribe. I have to get more anyway, okay? Oh, you want 2? Yeah, I get it, ladies. I get it, no problem. Okay, I gotta get out of here because I only got a little more time left. When you get robbed by dwarves. Well, not robbed, really. It's more like threatened. Okay. Fehu, Kenes, Awas, Kenes, Tiwas, Elhaz, Unyo, Awas, Atala. Fehu, Kenes, Awas, Kenes, Tiwas, Elhaz, Unyo, Awas, Ziwas. Alright. The last thing I want to show is over here. Which is, when I first originally was transporting trees, I was trying to grow trees here to make to harvest wood at some point from graveyard trees, but that didn't work out. But I got the Queen of Discs tarot card from Crowley. And it has a specific Queen of Pentacles. It has a specific pattern, and I kind of saw that on the card to figure out where to put it. And when I saw the card, I was like, oh, I know exactly where to put it. You know, this pathway. And there's these holes. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I should have asked. Ugh. Anyway, well, it's like a perfect triangle. An equilateral triangle. It's right over there. Right there. And right there. I mean, there's a second little hole over there, but that one, as far as I know, is new. But if you kind of look, I've already shown this hole off, or this habitation circle off. But you can kind of see there's a difference. But anyway, you know, you need a good queen, other queens. Lots of queens. You need lots of queens. If you're going to do terraforming in the cemetery, you need lots of queens of the undead. Okay? That's Black Pope Vice signing out. Love you all.